Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Ako si Gerald Galang at nandito tayo ngayon sa recording studio kasama ang mga artist at ang bumubuo ng kanta ng Boto ng Kabataan. Ang Boto ng Kabataan ay isang national movement na kung saan naglalayong kaming pagsamasamahin lahat ng Kabataang Pilipino upang magparehistro at bumoto ng tama sa darating na eleksyon. At ngayon naman napakasaya ko kasi kasama natin ang tatlong artist na kapwa ko Valenzuelano. Mga talentadong Valenzuelano nagsama-sama ngayon para bumuo ng isang makabuluhang kanta. Nandito kami ngayon, nandito si Syke at si Arlie, ang dalawang main rappers natin, at si Jazel naman ang lead vocalist natin. Si Syke at si Arlie, nagkakilala kaming lahat nung ako yung naging hurado nila. Tapos naman si Jazel, kabarangay ko. Kaya naman nung narinig ko yung kanta ni Jazel sa PLV, napaisip kami na siya na talaga yung bagay sa kantang to.
May nag-message po sa akin nung February po para po mag-join ako sa non-profit track na to, which is for Kabataan Movement. Actually po, noong una pa lang po, nang nabasa ko yung message na yun, yung private message na yun, I became already interested kasi yung content ng song is very powerful po when it comes to valuing the youth decision. Tapos po, bukod po dun sa maganda yung song is, interesado rin ako kasi gusto ko po yung ginagawa ko, which is creating music and singing.
Yung naging interesado kami ni Arlie kasi isang magandang movement din to para sa amin. Para maipakita namin sa mga tao na hindi lang kami para lang sa love song, hindi lang kami para sa hardcore. Na kahit din namin gumawa ng tungkol sa ating kabataan, sa buong mamamayan.
So, parang pinag-cruise talaga yung landas namin na si Jazel, mahilig siya sa rock. Yung mga taga sa amin naman is mahilig sa hip-hop. Tapos parang alam niyo yun na parang pinagsama-sama talaga kami. Parang destined kami magkita-kita about this. So sana maging maayos, maging maganda. Kasi maraming patutunguhan yung kanta eh. Bukod sa makakatulong kami sa Boto ng Kabataan, makakapag-encourage kami ng mga bata, matutulungan din namin yung artists from our city. So yun yung pinaka-nakakatuwa.
Nung una po, medyo nahirapan ako since hindi naman po to personal song. Kasi lahat involved, malaking community, hindi lang po kaming youth, parang lahat po. is talagang sakop nung kanta. So inisip ko po na ano kaya yung babagay ng wordplay dito.
Ang first step ko po talaga yung papakinggan ko muna po yung beat.
Unang-una, bago po ako makagawa ng sulat na kanta, dinadama ko muna po yung beat.
Nagpatulong ako sa mga PLB friends ko. Yun sila Sir Sherwin po, ayan. Binigyan po nila ako ng mga creative wordplay sa Sabong sa Trono, Marka sa Daliri.
Tapos papakiramdaman ko po kung anong tema talaga yung nababagay doon, anong flow na nababagay. And then tsaka ko na po i-construct yung mga naiisip kong linya.
Pangalawa, binabase ko po sa nararanasan ko at nakikita ko sa paligid.
Pag may naisip akong linya, databi ko na sa isip ko yon. And then pag gagawa ko na kanta, may naka-imbak na ako, pwede ko i-apply doon. Yun po, ganun po.
Yung Boto ng Kabataan po, specifically nalaman ko po dito sa non-profit track na to, which is yung Kabataan movement po, na yung mga kabataan po ngayon specifically, isa rin naman po ako doon sa kabataan na yon. Mas maintindihan at malaman nung community na hindi lang po kami basta-basta, gampanin din po namin bilang kabataan ng bumoto dahil sobrang po yun parang vital na rin po yun since marami na pong woke ngayon. Woke na rin po sila when it comes to ano ba yung dapat nilang maging solusyon para dun sa nakikita nilang hindrance na nag-e-exist dun sa community nila po.
Yung kanta po namin ay magiging inspirasyon para sa magandang resulta. Parang ako po yung magsisilbing gabay nila na kailangan natin pumili ng tama at isipin kung sino talaga ang karapat-dapat para sa huli hindi na tayo magsisi.
Kung ano po yung nilalaman ng verse namin, magiging inspirasyon po kasi yung mga pinapahiwatig namin sa mensahe, napakahalaga po bilang isang kabataan. Kung gaano po kahalaga ang pagboto ng bawat isa, kung paano makakatulong sa ating komunidad.
Naintindihan ko pa po lalo na, kaya pala ganito, kaya pala yung significance ng pagboto is kailangan kasi yung power ng youth to decide what's gonna be for the future is very importante. Siguro po yung makakapag-makeup po ng whole song na talagang tumatak din sa akin habang ginagawa ko is yung dulo po, yung kabataan, kalayaan, gampanin, gamitin ng tama, iyong boto.
There you have it, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Our partners and co-presenters of today's virtual conference, di ka pa registered because voters registration campaign of the Boto ng Kabataan movement for the coming 2022 national elections. This event wouldn't be possible without the consistent and outpouring effort and support of all our partners from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Literally, it's from Batanes down to Tawi-Tawi. And just want to put it out there that if you want to help Boto ng Kabataan as a partner organization or as a volunteer, you may fill out our online form through linktr.ee/boto ng kabataan. Again, that's linktr.ee/boto ng kabataan. And I am Paige, your Assistant Director for Partnerships in Mindanao, and I will be moderating today's webinar. And before we officially start, just a few reminders to have a smooth presentation. Just to keep your cameras on and your mics on mute. Our technical team will be the ones who are allowed to turn your microphones on during the event proper, particularly during the forum. So additional information and reminders will be given after our preliminaries. So at this juncture, again, may I request everyone to please turn on their cameras. Okay. We still have a lot of participants coming to our Zoom account, and while we're waiting, we're gonna proceed with our event this afternoon. At this juncture, may I request everyone to turn their attention on screen as we have our national anthem to be followed by a prayer.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, hindi mo'y buhay. Upang inilang, tuyagan ang magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka masisingil. Tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng bangaw, ay hilan ang tudlan, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ang patawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iiging, ang ituwing at araw niya kailan pa may iiging. Luman ang araw ng walang pansinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang ikaya na pagkay ang amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Our Heavenly Father, the fount of all goodness and grace, the cause of wisdom, the source of intelligence. We welcome you, O Lord, to this auspicious gathering of your beloved, who continuously give you thanks for every opportunity to learn something new and become fruitful to the works of your creation. We humbly come to you, not because we are worthy, but because we find ourselves in need of you, who is our strength and our hope, to continue despite the challenges we face in health, prosperity, and our solidarity with one another. We pray that today's gathering, made possible by the grace of advancements in technology and social media, becomes successful in its endeavors, so we can offer it back to you as our humble offering to honor you, glorify you, and love you through our deeper connection with everyone. May we find bliss in today's session and become more productive children and co-creators of the earth. This we ask and pray through Christ our Lord. Amen.
The Boto ng Kabataan movement welcomes everyone to this virtual voters registration campaign. The Boto ng Kabataan is a non-partisan national movement of young leaders, youth and youth-serving organizations, NGOs, government line agencies, public figures, and advocates who are working together to connect and empower young people and to have as many youth registered to their local COMELEC offices in preparation for the coming national elections. We're currently streaming live on Facebook, so please tell your friends to like and follow our official Facebook page. It's Boto ng Kabataan. And of course, share our live stream so that we could reach more people, especially our youth. And hello to everyone who's watching our stream right now on Facebook. Tell your friends and your family to watch it with you. At sama-sama nating markahan ang ating kinabukasan. In fact, there's one person in Facebook right now who's watching our stream. It's Mr. Marjan Cayos from Youth Development Affairs Office of Laguna. Sir, good afternoon and thank you so much for watching our webinar right now. And again, may I request those participants and including our national team to turn their cameras on, but please keep yourself muted. Our technical team will be the ones to unmute you during the event proper. I guess our technical team has prepared a slide, a presentation to give us a gist of the demographics of our participants, our Slido. Currently have 84, wait, it's 86 participants and counting. A lot more are a lot more will join. More participants will join our event right now. Some of our partner organizations are on the waiting room. Some are already with us. And those who don't have access to our Zoom, which is exclusive to some of our participants, are now connected with us through our Facebook Live. There you have it. We have 89 right now, 89 participants on Zoom, and we have 28 viewers on Facebook Live. So again, please don't forget to share our Facebook Live. And the Boto ng Kabataan would like to thank you for being with us, for having you on board in this mission to really advance active youth participation and governance, especially amid this global health crisis, this pandemic that we are currently in. Also, before I forget, we would like to request everyone to please follow our Twitter and Instagram pages. It's at Boto ng Kabataan to keep yourself posted on the coming activities that we will be having for the coming projects and other programs that the Boto ng Kabataan will be initiating in the coming months. Also, we have a YouTube channel. In fact, tomorrow we will be launching our official Boto ng Kabataan soundtrack on YouTube, on Spotify, and Apple Music. But more details will be presented on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. So please keep yourself posted. And again, don't forget to share our live stream right now on Facebook. The more the merrier. And now to break the ice, may I call in Josh from the Boto ng Kabataan Voters Department. He is one of our volunteers. Josh, kindly lead us with our short game.
Okay, so thank you so much, Paige. So for our short warm-up game and also our icebreaker. So may I request everyone to access slido.com and kindly use our code. It's hashtag 636648. So this will be our, your code for our warm-up and for our open forum. And later, we will be having our some short warm up also for what you know about our country. So kindly use our code for Slido 636648 and we will know who among of you or we will know the demographics of our participants today. So if ever you are already connected with our Slido, kindly type done. Okay, so let us start now our short survey. So let me know. Okay, let us know first our first question. So let us know who among you are male or female. So this we will be asking for the demographics for a while. So we know or we will know what to expect within this webinar. Okay, so we have already received 32 responses, so 64% of which are female, while the remaining 36 are male. So you can still answer so that we may know what would be our demographics for our webinar today. At the moment, we have already 47 responses. Okay, so as we see on our poll, so majority of our participants are female. So we are all aware that and we will be sure that our female fellows will be leading, uh, will be the game changer for our elections this year. So let us proceed for our next poll. Kindly select your current status if you're a student, a working student, or a working professional. So you may now select. Okay, so as of the moment, we have already 51 responses. So 82% of which are students. So as we see, most of us or most of our participants are currently studying with their respective year levels on their respective schools. So it is very high time for our students to be more exposed to our one of the fundamental civic rights of our society. So let us now move forward to our warm up. So kindly access kahoot.it and kindly use the game pin 1681582 so that we can have our short icebreaker before we start our formal discussion. So again, kindly use the game pin 1681582. So you will be having 1 minute to access so that uh, we can all participate with our game. So timer starts now. So at the moment, we have already 36 participants. So we will just wait for some more and then we will be starting our warm up. Okay, shall we begin our game? So let us start our warm up so that we can now enjoy our activity for today. So let us begin. Kindly read the questions carefully before answering. Okay, so our correct answer is Iloilo City. So let us see who got the correct answer. Looks like Siege has got the correct answer first. So let us now move on to our next question. Okay, so our correct answer for this question is 500 or 500th anniversary. So we are now celebrating the 500 years of the victory in Mactan, and also the propagation of Christianity in our country. So who got the correct answer this time? Still Siege is on the lead, while our other participants have rise up to the top 5. Let us move forward to the next question. Okay, our longest mountain ridge in the Philippines is Sierra Madre, spanning from Isabela until the northern part of Quezon. Now, who got the correct answer? Sage is still on the lead. Meanwhile, Rika and Paige have ascended to top 5. Now, let us have our next question. Palawan is considered the largest province in the Philippines in terms of their land area, and also considered the last frontier of the country. Now, who got the correct answer? CG is still on the lead, while Paige, Bisa, Fregnell, and Justin has ascended to top 3, 4, and 5 respectively. Now, for our last question, we have 81 provinces in the Philippines, which are distributed to 17 regions, which comprises our archipelago. Now, for our last question, who got the correct answer? Let us move to the podium. Game Changer got the first spot. So congratulations to all our participants, and thank you so much for actively participating to our warm-up. And may I return the floor to Paige so that we can now move forward to our formal discussion. Thank you so much, and kudos.
Thank you so much, Josh. That was really fun. Did you have fun, guys? Ako, ang competitive ko. Kami ni Siege, ang competitive. I really hope everyone had fun because I really had fun. Ang competitive, nakakaloka. Anyway, again, Josh, thank you so much for that amazing job in terms of the icebreaker. To move forward, I'll be presenting just some few additional reminders and house rules to ensure that we have a consistent and, of course, a smooth virtual conference. So number 1, please rename to BNK_Juan, or your name of org _ your name. That's example is BNK Juan. Mine would be BNK moderator _ page. So again, I'm requesting everyone to please change their name on Zoom to your org's name _ your first name or your nickname, so that we could tally and identify which organizations are present and from what organizations did you come from. Okay, number two, we have participants must maintain courtesy during the webinar. So again, as I've said, all your cameras should be on while your microphones are on mute. Our technical team will be the ones to unmute you during the forum. And if you have concerns, kindly click the raise hand icon on your Zoom account so that I could acknowledge you. And then third would be participants are encouraged to, again, to turn on their camera, but prohibited to turn on their mic and share screen during the webinar unless asked by the moderator. So we have the fourth one. Questions can only be asked with the chat features throughout the whole webinar. So if you have questions, that's if you have questions and if we're not on the forum yet, so kindly raise your concerns on the chat features. And then prepare yourselves after the question and answer portion for a photo op session. So a photo opportunity with our BNK national team, along with our guest speakers this afternoon. So any violation of regulations, offensive actions, or disruptions of the webinar will result to the removal of participants from the webinar. So I guess that's clear. Give me a thumbs up if it's clear. Okay, a thumbs up. There you go. So if you have questions during the forum, if you have questions, if you could come up with questions that you want to pitch during our forum, you could personally ask that. But given the limited time that we have, we can only entertain 5 questions max. 3 questions would be from the Zoom participants. By the way, we have 95, 96 participants in our Zoom and counting. Wow, thank you so much. And we have 32 viewers on Facebook. Again, don't forget to share our live stream and let's reach more people. And again, we have 3 questions reserved for our Zoom participants and 2 questions for our viewers on Facebook. So again, to all our viewers on Facebook, if you have questions, comment down below in the comment section of our live stream, and our technical team would be browsing through your questions, and we will select 2 questions to be asked to our panel of speakers this afternoon. Again, just post your questions on the comment section on Facebook. Okay, to proceed, let us hear our welcome remark from our ever-active Voters Education Department Chair, and our resident human resource practitioner, our bayaning puyat, Miss Nika Galang. Let's give her a virtual round of applause.
Oh my God, thank you so much, guys. Wow, Paige, thank you for that, for that introduction. But anyway, a pleasant afternoon to everyone. So I hope, guys, that you're doing well despite the lockdown season 2 here in NCR and the other restrictions in the provinces. So to start this welcoming remarks, I'd like to highlight that voting is one of our basic rights as a citizen of this country. It is also our power to choose our leaders for the next 6-year term. Who do we think will serve to better our nation? It is also showcases our bayanihan spirit by registering ourselves to vote to raise our voices. And for the next 2022 Philippine national elections, the Commission on Elections or COMELEC targets at least 4 million new registered voters. Hence, the Di Ka Pa Registered Because webinar will be a way to spotlight that every vote matters. So this program is divided into 2 sessions, the importance of voting and the Philippine government. And we invited notable speakers to share their insights. So I want you to sit back and relax at the comfort of your homes. And on behalf of the Boto ng Kabataan, I would like to thank you in advance for supporting this movement, starting from our partners, volunteers, and supporters. Kaya Kabataan, sabay-sabay nating markahan ang ating kinabukasan. Maraming salamat.
Thank you so much, Miss Nika. I like it when you said, tara na't sama-sama nating markahan ang ating kinabukasan. Because again, our vote marks our future. And we have already 100 participants in our Zoom right now. So thank you so much again. And we have running around 30 individuals, 30 viewers on our Facebook. We have viewers from Dasmariñas, from Taytay, basically from all over the Philippines. So again, to all our viewers on Facebook, thank you for watching, and please don't forget to share our live stream this afternoon. Again, thank you, Miss Nika, for your wonderful message. To proceed, let us proceed with our event proper, which is our talk from our notable speakers. Before that, let me allow me to present to you our first speaker this afternoon. Our first speaker lives and breathes gender and development. He is always very active in all of the Commission on Elections GAD activities. Even in social media, he never fails to advocate women and children's rights, as well as gender equality in the workplace. He is among the prime movers in the establishment of a chapter of the Men Opposed to Violence Everywhere, or MOVE, in COMELEC. Because of his charisma and energetic persona, he was eventually elected as MOVE COMELEC chapter's public relations officer. At home, he is a caring and thoughtful son to his octogenarian mother, father to his only son, and a brother to his siblings. Being the family's breadwinner, he works tirelessly so that he can provide a better life for them. Wow, very inspiring. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a virtual round of applause to our first speaker, our election officer from COMELEC, Mr. Armando Mallorca. Sir, good afternoon. Sir Armando? Ganito po talaga pag live, no? Maraming technical glitches, but again, we push through and we keep on moving forward. So again, our first speaker would be Mr. Armando Mallorca from COMELEC. He is our resident elections officer and a resource partner and an advocacy partner of the Boto na Kabataan movement. He helped us with on the birth steps, on the baby steps of the Boto ng Kabataan. So,
Okay.
Mr. Armando?
Yeah. Good afternoon, guys. Shout
Good afternoon
out
po.
sa lahat ng mga nanonood dyan. Shout out. Ayan, okay. Ang topic natin ngayon ay di ka pa registered because ang daming kadahilanan. Okay? Isa, sabi nila, may pasok daw. Pangalawa, parang ayaw ko bumoto kaya ayaw ko magparehistro. So, kailangan i-inform natin yung mga kabataan na maging positive sila sa pananaw sa pagboto. So, ito yung lalong-lalo na sa pandemic, di ba? Nakakainis yung pandemic na yan. Kailangan naming magparehistro ng maraming kabataan. Sabi ng IATF, bawal lumabas. Ayan. So guys, magtulungan tayo. So pakinggan nyo yung yung ikikwento ko sa inyo tungkol sa, i-discuss ko sa inyo ang tungkol sa no election better. Next. So nasabi na yung yung house rules. Ayan. Okay. Next. Your quarantine experience, guys. Ano yung mga quarantine experience nyo? Next. Nung panahon ng community quarantine, next. Naramdaman nyo ba yung presensya ng inyong mga halal na opisyal? Pasado ba sa inyo ang serbisyo nila? May pagtanto o na-realize ba kayo sa karanasang ito? Next. Sabi nga, ang swerte namin sa aming mayor at kapitan. Sabi ng isa, ang malas namin sa aming mayor at kapitan. So makikita nyo rito yung mga mga haka-haka ng mga tao. Next. Mahalaga pala ang desisyon. So yun. Iboboto ko ulit siya. Yung isa naman, di na. Di na ako magpapaloko sa kanya. So sana bumoto ako ng naging maayos ang pagpili ko. Ayan, yan yung ano natin ha. So kailangan maging ano tayo, kaya kailangan i-inform natin yung mga ano natin. So mabuti na lang, mabuti na lang at magaling ang mayor at kapitan namin. Buti pa, sana katulad sa kanilang ang mayor kapitan namin. Ayan, yung makikita nyo, kahit pare-pare yung position, iba-iba rin ang diskarte at pagganap. Wow! Ang daming relief! Di nila kami pinabayaan. Ayan. Yung isa naman, bakit nung kampanya ang galante nila? Bakit ngayon, kung kailan kailangan, wala? Ayan. Iba ang mga sinasabi sa ginagawa. Makikitang tunay na malasakit sa panahon ng pagsubok. Next. Mahalaga ang eleksyon. Mahalaga ang boto ng tama. Next. Yung iba mag-iisip dyan, bakit mahalaga ang eleksyon? Ayan. So dito, i-ano ko na yung ano the Philippines are a democratic and republican state. Sovereignty resides in the people and all government authority emanates from them. Yan po yung 1987 Constitution, Article 2, Section 1. What is democracy? Government by the people, a form of government in which by the supreme power is vested in the people and exercised directly by them or by their elected agents under a pre-electoral system. What is a republican? In a republican system government, power is held by the people or the representative that they elect. What is an election? An election is a process in which people vote to choose a person or group of people to hold an official position. Next. So elect. Siyempre kapag ikaw na-elect, ang ano ng mga ng tao siyempre kailangan mag-serve ka. 'Di ba? 'Yun yung inaano natin eh. So parang kumaga sa ano kaya ka na-elect para magsilbi ka sa bayan. Hindi yung magpapayaman ka, 'di ba? So next. Public office is a public trust. Public officers and employees must at all times to be accountable to the people, serve them with utmost responsibility, integrity, loyalty, and efficiency. Act with patriotism and justice and lead modest lives. 1987 Constitution, Article 2, Section 1. Mahalaga ang eleksyon para next, makapili ng mamumuno, patuloy na pagbabago ng bansa, proteksyon sa pangangabusong leader. Paano ako makakaboto? Ayan, yan ang magandang tanong eh. Para payagang makaboto, ikaw ay dapat, siyempre may voter's ID. So ngayon wala na. Kahit na walang voter's ID, pwede kang gumamit ng ibang voter's identification. So, at ang mga pangalan nyo ay nasa listahan ng ang list of voters. Nasa tamang edad at nakatira sa barangay. O kahit saan na na place. Okay? Basta registered ka, makakaboto ka. So bakit ko sinasabi dito? Kasi kapag hindi ka po registered voter, hindi po kayo at hindi nyo makikita yung pangalan nyo sa listahan. Next. Next. Para payagang makaboto, yan. Para payagang makaboto, kayo dapat nasa voters list ang pangalan. Voters registration. who may register. Okay, guys? Any Filipino citizen who is not yet a registered voter may apply for registration provided he or she possesses the following qualifications. Okay? At least 18 years of age on or before May 9, 2022 national and local elections. A resident of the Philippines for at least 1 year in the place wherein he or she proposes to vote for at least 6 months immediately preceding the May 9, 2022 national and local elections. Not otherwise disqualified by law. Okay? Date and time and place. Applications shall be personally filed with the Office of the Election Officer of the city municipality where the applicant resides from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. from Tuesdays to Saturdays. Sa ngayon po, pandemic, bumalik tayo sa Monday to Thursday. Friday, ano siya, yun yung ano na, ano yan, yung disinfectant day. Okay? So, by the way guys, yung last day of registration is on September 30, 2021. So, kailangan tayo magkumbida na magpariso na sila. Okay? So, next. What are the requirements? Okay, ito guys, dahil kayo mga kabataan, syempre unang-una, lalo na yung 17, 18, kailangan meron kayong birth certificate with with valid ID. Ano yung mga valid ID nyo? Syempre yung kapag estudyante, student's ID. Kapag empleyado naman, employee's ID. So, pwede na po yung postal, PW discount ID, tapos yung kung wala kang student's ID or library card signed by the school authority, senior citizens, driver's license, NBI passport, SSS, GSIS ID, integrated by the Philippines. So, yan po yung mga valid ID. Isa lang po dyan, pwede. Okay? Kapag walang-wala naman kayong walang-wala naman kayong valid ID, pwede kayong i-identify ng any registered voter ng kasama mo sa bahay. Okay? Or kapitbahay. Ayan. So next. Ito po yung how to register. Siyempre, dahil ang in-encourage ko sa inyo, dapat naka-online kayo para maiwasan nyo na yung mga ganyang So pupunta na lang kayo doon for biometrics. Pero kung pupunta kayo sa OEO office, Office of the Election Officer, magpe-present kayo ng valid ID, see to it, magdala kayo ng sarili nyong ballpen. Okay, to kailangan i-accomplish nyo ng 3 kopya. Okay? Then, have the biometrics taken picture, fingerprints, and signature. So, mga po yan doon po yung papasok kayo sa COMELEC. Then, wag kayong aalis na wala kayong dalang proof of yung acknowledgement receipt. So, yun yung ebidensya nyo na kayo ay nakarehistro na. Next. Ano yung mga protocols under the new normal? Okay, guys? Sa butuhan kailangan ay sa rehistro. No face mask and face shield, no transaction. So, kailangan meron kayong new normal suit. Next. Observe physical distancing at all times. Maaari nga magdala kayo ng alcohol at sariling ballpen. Next. Ayan, Biob, bring your own ballpen. Biob. Then, have your temperature checked and sanitize your hands before entering the Office of the Election Officer. Guys, para pa mabilis yung yung pagpaparehistro, kailangan mag-download kayo ng forms. Doon na kayo magpila para pagdating doon sa may iwasan na yung ibang pila Kasi kayo priority kayo kapag kayo nakapag-download ng form. So, see to it, kailangan din kayo ng magsiset din kayo ng appointment. Katulad dito sa Pateros, wala masyado nagpaparehistro. Kaya kahit na walang appointment, okay lang. Basta may dala kang may dala kayong na form, mabilis. Walang pila. Ang maraming pila, Makati, Taguig, Manila, Quezon City. Yan yung mga so far na Pasig, yun yung mga maraming pila. So dito sa Pateros, wala pong pila. Okay, next. So yung mga magda-download, meron din po kaming health declaration form na pwedeng i-download. Pero pag pupunta kayo sa office na pipila ko na mahaba, ito makakaano din kayo ng health declaration form. Next. Accomplish the coronavirus self-declaration form. So yun. I-ano nyo, i-check, i-ano nyo yung mga nyo dyan. Siyempre, pag may lagnat ka, naku, hindi ka papasukin. So, kailangan ang mga sagot yan, no. O yan, ha? So, registers our voters and their personal assisters. So, yun yung mga may mga personal assisters. Yun yung mga PWD, yan yung mga kapatid natin na hindi So, kailangan may personal assisters sila. Okay? Next. So ito yung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, kailangan applicants are encouraged to bring duly accomplished application forms which can be downloaded at comelec.gov.ph. So guys, yan ha. comelec.gov.ph or schedule on an appointment through i-rehistro comelec.gov.ph. Ayan. So yan po yung mga... So guys, pag nag-download po kayo ng forms para hindi na kayo magpipila ulit sa Comelec, kailangan sundin nyo yung preferably substance 20/70 GSM. So, ang 8.5 and 1.3 inches. So, kailangan baliktaran niya na kailangan 3 pages lang yung 3 sets lang, 3 pages lang yung dala nyo. Kasi kapag hindi nyo baliktaran, 6 yung pages. Ako, papaulit kayo kasi yung iba niya mapupunta yan sa copy sa ibang sa main office, sa NCR. So kailangan 3 kopya lang. So back to back po siya. So dito sa i-rehistro naman, i-rehistro is an online facility where the registration may conveniently access the application forms for voter registration purposes and select the appointment date for personal appearance at the office of the election officer. So, kailangan may appointment kayo. Kapag walang appointment, pipila kayo ng napakahaba. Okay, guys? Reminder, do not yet sign the application form. Signature shall be affixed and the oath shall be taken upon personal appearance of the register at the office of the election officer during the filing of application and biometrics data capturing. Personal appearance is required under Republic Act number 8189, Voters Registration Act, and 10367, Mandatory Biometrics Law. So yun po, hindi pwede ko nakapag-download na kayo, ay register na. No. Kailangan pa kayong pumunta sa opisina. Okay? Next. So yung guys, yung go to www.comelec.gov.ph and click application forms bar. So alam ko magagaling kayo mga kabataan. Maraming kabataan ng mga nagpapariso na naka-downloaded na yung form. Next. Click the CF1. So yun po. Sige lang. Next. Download and print back to back along bond paper 8.5 and 13 inches. Okay? So manually fill out the 3 copies. Do not sign yet. You shall affix your signatures upon your appearance at the office of the election officer. Next. Go to irehistro.comelec.gov.ph and choose the type of application. So nandito po yung ano, then fill in your personal information and other needed information. People who accomplish irehistro course may set an appointment. Those with appointments are given priority. Take note, guys. You are given priority over walk-in applicants. Okay? If you want to set an appointment, select preferred date and schedule from the calendar that will appear. If you do not want to set an appointment, ito maliwanag. Pag ayaw nyo raw, simply check the I don't want to set an appointment. Okay? So number 4, download and save the accomplished form and print in a long bond paper. So, ayan, pwede nyo na ayan, ulitin ko do not sign yet. You shall affix your signature upon your appearance at the UEO of the election officer. So, kailangan po kapag kayo nag-download, napila pa na, wag nyo munang pipirmahan. Doon muna kayo sa office of the election o pagdating nyo sa office na lang pipirmahan. Okay? Next. How to fill up the application form. So, kailangan guys, alam nyo, fill upan nyo ng mabuti. Kasi para maiwasan natin yung mga magko-correct someday. Lalong-lalo na yung mga birthday nyo, birthplace. Kasi minsan, tapos yung edad, di ba? So, nagkakamali-mali dyan. So, ito po yung kung ikaw ay first ka lang, yung kayo mga kabataan, application for registration. So, yun lang ang i-check nyo. So, Armando Mallorca, Pilipino, born on May 17, 19, ayun. Duly registered voter. So, wala pa kasi pa lang kayo bago pa lang. So, sa anong barangay? Barangay Aguho, Municipality of Pateros, Province of Metro Manila, I do hereby apply for, ayan, i-check mo na yung mga mo dyan. Okay? Next. Ayan. Sige. Ito yung mga ayan, application for reactivation. Ang application for reactivation naman, guys, hindi pa sa inyo yan kasi yan yung mga botante na 2 beses na hindi nakaboto. So, kailangan nila magpa-reactivate. Hindi kayo dyan. Wala kayo dyan. Next. Ayan. So, application for change. Ito naman yung, pakibalik, yung application for change of, due to marriage, ayun naman yung mga nagpakasal, di ba? Single sila tapos yun ang niya. So, next, application for inclusion. Next. Next. Ayan po yung itsura ng natin ng form. Lang. Ang mga nakalagay na X dyan, yung huwag niyong pipilapan kasi ang Comelec ang maglalagay niyan. So, yan yung mga pipilap nyo guys Yan. Single, yan. So, yun yung mga naka-check. Kailangan niyan yung mga nyo. So, to be signed at the Office of the Election Officer, guys. So, dito guys, mayroon nakalagay dito, I do solemnly swear that the above statements regarding my person are true and correct. So, guys, kailangan lahat ng mga data mo dyan, tama. Okay? Kasi kapag mali-mali, nako, mag-correct kayo dyan someday. Next. So yan huwag nyo niyang pipilapan yan yung mga naka-ekes na dyan. Don't forget to get the stub. O yun, yung stub kanina, yan ang ibibigay sa inyo. Next. Supplementary data para sa mga na yan. Mga PWD, senior citizen. Next. IPICC. So, certification of attestation by assessor. So, yun yung mga nag-assist. Yan ang pipila pa nila. Next. Pwede na bang, ito mga question na pwede niyong matanong din. Pwede na bang magparehistro kahit wala pang 18 years old? Kung kayo ay 18, 18 years old, or sa araw o bago araw ng eleksyon, May 9, 2020, pwede na kayo magparehistro. Ayan Maliwanag po yan Huwag lalagpas sa May 9. Kailangan May 9 mismo, 18 ka. Pwede na magparehistro. Next. Kailangan pa bang magparehistro ang rehistrado na? Hindi. Hindi na kailangan magparehistro ang mga rehistrado na. Pero kung kayo ay lumipat ng tahanan, pwede kayo mag-file ng application for transfer. Kung nag-iba ng pangalan dahil nag-asawa, mag-file ng application for change of... Ay, andali lang. May napindot ako. Yan. Lumipat, kailangan, di ba, yun yung... Kung kayo naman nag-deactivate dahil hindi nakaboto sa dalawang magkasunod na regular na eleksyon, pwede kayo mag-file ng application for reactivation. So, ang mga rehistradong SK voters na magiging 18 years old sa araw ng eleksyon ay hindi na kailangang magparehistro muli. So guys, kung kayo nakapagparehistro na nung SK, ayan, wag na kayo automatic na po, tataas po yan. Okay? As a regular voter. Next. Rehistrado na ba ako pagkatas ko magparehistro? Ayan guys, ang gandang tanong, di ba? So, hindi ka pa registered voter niyan. Ang inyong application ay isa sa ilalim pa sa Election of Registration Board, yung ERB hearing, na ginaganap sa ikatakdang schedule kada 3 buwan sa loob ng registration period. Kung ang inyong application ay approved ng ERB, ang inyong pangalan ay maisasama na sa listahan ng mga botante. So guys, yung mga kabataan na nagpaparehistro, hindi kayo muna makakakuha ng voter certification. Magantay po kayo ng 3 buwan pa para may bigyan kayo ng kasi di ba usually yan yung pinipresent nyo para makakuha kayo ng scholarship, lalong-lalo na dyan sa Manila. Okay guys, next. Ayan guys, challenge accepted! Ayan, 18 years old na ka na ba o mag-18 ka sa araw ng eleksyon? Kung hindi ka pa rehistrado, magparehistro ka na! Okay guys, ito umikayat ka ng 3 kaibigan na magparehistro. Kahit 3, kaya mo yan. Bumoto ng tama sa araw ng eleksyon. Ayan, di ba? Next. Ayan, maraming salamat guys. Ayan na. So, icebreaker na. Okay? Okay na ba?
Thank you so much, Sir Armando, for that very informative, no, and energetic. Grabe yung energy mo. So, nakakahawa. Nakakahawa po yung energy niyo.
By the way, paki-follow ko sa TikTok,
yes,
Super Happy Man, and Kumo, Super Happy Man. Ang Facebook ko, Armando Mallorca. Guys, kung may mga katanungan kayo, kahit madaling araw, sasagutin ko kayo.
Okay. Narinig niyo yan. Paki-follow na lang daw yung TikTok at Kumu account ni Sir Super Happy Man.
Yes.
Sir, grabe yung energy mo. Nakakahawa. Tapos nakikita ko yung TikToks niyo. Grabe. Super informative at napaka-youthful yung approach, no? Isa to sa mga target din ng BNK na aside from making or helping the youth register, but to also make the experience in registering sa mga local COMELEC offices more friendly and perhaps youthful din, no? Kasi yung target naman natin ay mga kabataan, so dapat yung energy na binibigay din natin is youthful. And sir, thank you so much for your energies. Just a few takeaways lang sa talk ni Sir. Again, sabi ni Sir kanina, na yung last day of registration is on September 30, 2021. So, please mark your calendars in case na busy kayo for the coming months. You still have until September 30, 2021 to register. And again, don't forget to have your face mask and face shield on. Minimum health protocols, lalong-lalo na tumataas po yung kaso ng COVID-19, no? Isa din po sa takeaway is don't sign your forms, yung registration forms nyo. Again, personal appearance at biometric ay kailangan po, pero doon na po sa office ng election officer. So again, don't sign your forms yet. Just to wanna put it out there. Sir, maraming salamat po sa napaka-informative na lecture nyo and napaka-funny po. Just to put it out there, napaka-funny and although informative but very, very friendly and youthful yung mga TikToks nyo.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, before we proceed with, I know you have questions for Sir Armando. You could post your questions on our chat system in Zoom. You could also ask, Sir Armando. Mamaya during our forum, I will be opening the forum mamaya. And for our viewers on Facebook, you could post your comments, your questions on our comment section on Facebook Live, and we will see to it that some of your questions i-ask natin, itatanong natin sa ating mga speakers this afternoon. So ayun. Again, also, please don't forget to share our Facebook Live. Let's reach more youth and let's reach more people. And please like or follow our official Twitter and Instagram pages. It's at Boto ng Kabataan. Marami po kami pinopost dyan, tina-tweet, photos and updates of the movement's initiatives. So please follow to keep yourself posted and para po ma-share nyo rin sa fellow youth nyo in your own community. And also, if you have questions din pala, you could also tweet it using our official hashtag. It's hashtag di ka pa registered because hashtag Boto ng Kabataan, hashtag markahan na Kinabukasan. And also don't forget to mention our Twitter account, that's at Boto ng Kabataan. And also make sure that your Twitter accounts are not in private para po mabasa namin yung mga tweets nyo. Again, so if you have questions, you could post that on the comment section, send that on the chat system ng Zoom, or you could tweet that on Twitter using our official hashtags. And again, if you want to partner din pala, just I don't want to forget about this. If you want to partner or want to help Boto ng Kabataan with our movement, please go to our official registration link. That's linktr.ee/boto ng Kabataan. Again, that's linktr.ee/boto ng Kabataan. We are really in need of many volunteers, partner organizations, kasi yung target namin to have more youth registered. Ayun. Again, thank you so much, sir. And at this moment, let's proceed with our second speaker this afternoon. Actually, ang second speaker natin ngayon, although he's physically present in our Zoom, but his talk will be given through a pre-recorded message na i-present ng technical team natin ngayon. So, allow me to present our second speaker. Our second speaker is currently our second speaker is currently an instructor at the Philippine Women's University. Nakaka-pressure yung mga bio notes ng second speaker at yung first speaker. So our second speaker is an instructor at the Philippine Women's University, where he teaches both senior high school and college departments. He is also the current chairperson of the Committee on Good Governance of the Council of Young Leaders of the Philippines. He believes that the Filipino youth vote is the key for the country's future. Kaya nga markahan ang kinabukasan. He took Bachelor of Arts in International Studies, major in European Studies at the De La Salle University. He is also a graduate of Bachelor in Secondary Education, major in English at Laguna University, and is currently taking Master of Arts in International Studies, major in European Studies. He is passionate in international relations, education, and governance, and was one of the few people to represent our country in various prestigious international gatherings like the Harvard Project for Asian and International Relations, or HPAIR, ASEAN Youth Forum, ASEAN DAPE, and he also presented a paper at the reputable GSA ASEAN Forum. Further, he is also an online degree holder in numerous prestigious universities like Oxford and Harvard. Wow, that's a mouthful. Our second speaker is our resident director for partnerships. We have Mr. Johnny Rosales. A virtual round of applause, please.
So good afternoon. I am Johnny Rosales. I am the chairperson on the Committee on Good Governance of the Council of Young Leaders of the Philippines. Today, this afternoon, we'll be talking about the structure of the Philippine government and good governance. So let's start. I'll make this sweet and short so that So good afternoon. I am Johnny Rosales. I am the chairperson on the Committee on Good Governance of the Council of Young Leaders of the Philippines. Today, this afternoon, we'll be talking about the structure of the Philippine government and good governance. So let's start. I'll make this sweet and short so that we'll have a very good time discussing this. So actually, in accordance to the 1987 Constitution, the Philippines is a republic with a presidential government wherein the powers are actually divided into three branches. We have the legislative, which is composed of the Senate and Congress, the executive, which is composed of the office of the president, office of the vice president, and the cabinet. At the same time, we also have the judiciary, which is composed of the Supreme Court, which sits as the highest court of the land, and other courts, which is composed of Sandigan Bayan, MTC or municipal trial courts, and Sharia courts, which implements Muslim laws, especially in the BA in the BARM. So these three branches actually are not limited. For example, the Senate and Congress are not the only offices that is under the legislative. For example, in your barangay, actually the councilors there are also part of the legislative because they are doing what we call barangay ordinances. So barangay ordinances are actually laws that is created or crafted by your barangay council. At the same time, we also have what we call municipal council, composed of what we call your municipal or city councilors, and this is headed by the vice mayor, and the vice mayor is the one who is heading, again, the municipal council. So they are the one crafting municipal or city ordinances. At the same time, we also have what we call the provincial council, provincial legislative council, which is composed of your board members. So this is per district, and this is headed by the vice governor. Hence, we also have some local government executives. For example, we have the barangay captain, which is the barangay executive that implements the law. We also have the mayors in your cities or in your municipalities. And of course, the highest is the governor, which implements or who manages the administrative matter when it comes to your provinces. Of course, let's talk about the legislative branch. Actually, the legislative branch is composed of two houses. We have the House of Representatives, which happens to be the lower house, and the Senate of the Philippines, which is composed of 24 senators. So let's talk about first the lower house or the House of Representatives. Actually, the House of Representatives is composed of not more than 250 members unless otherwise fixed by law. However, because of what is happening or because of the increasing population trend in many areas in the Philippines, because of course, increasing population, representatives will be added most of the time. For example, in my home province, Laguna, formerly there are only four congressmen who represents the province. However, because of the increasing population, especially in the first district, especially in Binyan, in Santa Rosa, Binyan right now has a lone district or one congressman representing them. So that is the trend right now that is happening because of the increasing population here in our country. So how many terms do they have? Meron silang 3 taon at pagkatapos ng 3 taon, sila ay i-elect ulit kung sila ay karapat-dapat. So, paano po ito? Sino ba yung nag-elect sa ating mga kongresista? So, those congressmen or the congressmen will be, of course, elected by their respective constituents in their congressional district. Halimbawa, 1st District of Laguna, 2nd District of Laguna. So those people are the only people who can elect their representatives. Who is the leader of sino bang pinuno ng ating Kamara de Representante? Siyempre, ang Speaker of the House. And the Speaker of the House can only be elected by their own members or the congressmen themselves. And kailangan siyempre majority. So ayan po ang composition ng House of Representatives. Let's move on to the Senate of the Philippines. Unlike the House of Representatives, mas konti itong ang composition ng ating Senado. 24 lang po yung mga senador, pero sila ay hinahahalal meron silang term na 6 na taon. So, unlike sa House of Representatives, merong mga senador na what I mean is, ang mga senador ay hinahalal katulad ng presidente. They are elected on a national manner, meaning all of the people will be choosing who will be the 12 senators who will win that election. So let's talk about, of course, the powers of the legislative department. So let's talk about first what we call the general legislative power. Actually, the general legislative power is the authority under the Constitution to make laws. Okay? Gumawa ng batas. Nasa kapangyarihan ng lehislatura ang paggawa ng batas, pagbabago ng batas, at pagtanggal sa batas kung ito ay hindi na nababagay sa ating present times. So ayan po ang ating general legislative power. Hence, we also have what we call a specific power. Ito ay mas specific, meaning mas pili ang kapangyarihan ng lehislatura. So, unang-una, syempre, ang kapangyarihan para makapag-determine ng presidente kung sakaling pantay ang boto ng 2 kandidato. Hindi pa ito nangyari sa ating kasaysayan. However, kung mangyari man ito, ang may kapangyarihan ay ang Senado at ang Kongreso na mamili kung sino nga ba ang susunod na presidente. Paano ito mangyayari? Magbobotohan po ang Senado at ang Kongreso. Excuse me po. And then, actually, the legislature also has the power to confirm certain appointments by the president. What do we mean by that? Ganito po. Ang presidente po ay namimili ng kanyang mga cabinet secretaries at ng mga i-appoint niya sa ating sandatahang lakas. Kailangan muna silang ma-confirm ng mga senador at ng ating mga kongresista bago sila maging official members of the cabinet. So, meron pong instances na hinaharang ang ating mga secretary, ang ating mga military officials. For example po nito ay yung si late Secretary Lopez ng DENR, hinarang po siya ng Kongreso at ng Senado. At the same time, moving on po tayo, the Congress actually has also the power to declare the existence of war. Ibig sabihin, Kongreso lang ho ang makakapagdeklara ng giyera. Dahil bakit po? Hindi po pwedeng ibigay o ipagkatiwala ang isang napakalaking desisyon sa isang tao lamang. So, Kongreso lang po ang pwedeng magdeklara ng estado de guerra. So, moving on tayo, it can also impose taxes. What do you mean? Kung magkano yung sisingilin nating buwis? At ano yung sisingilin nating buwis? It can also appropriate money. Ibig sabihin, manglikom ng pera o magbigay ng pera sa ganitong departments. Kaya tayo nagkakaroon ng General Appropriations Act at hearing tungkol sa budget para malaman ng Kongreso kung saan ibibigay yung budget. So, kapag po napirmahan na yung GAA, diretso na po ito sa Malacanang at saka pa lang tayo magkakaroon ng budget. Although, saan nanggaling, ang kapangyarihan ay nasa legislatura pa rin. Of course, moving on, Congress also has the power to impeach several high-ranking officials. In accordance to the 1987 Constitution, ang Kongreso at the lower house will be the one to start impeachment on a committee level. Pag pumasok ito, kapag may nag-file ng impeachment sa committee level, pag pumasa ito sa committee level, pagbobotohan to sa general na plenaryo o ng lahat ng kongresista at itatransmit ito sa mga senador. Kung saan ang House of Representatives ay magiging prosecution, ang Chief Justice kung ang nililitis ay ang presidente o ang vice presidente, ang isa sa mga head ng impeachment court together with the other senators. Ngayon, sino po ba yung pwedeng i-impeach? Ang pwede pong i-impeach ay yung ating mga matataas na opisyal. For example, presidente, vice-presidente, miyembro ng hudikatura katulad ng mga associate justices at ng chief justice together with members of the Constitutional Commission, COMELEC, Commission on Audit and Commission on Civil Service Commission. So, ayan yung mga pwedeng i-impeach together with the ombudsman. So, sila yung mga pwedeng i-impeach. Ano pa ba? Meron pang kapangyarihan ng Kongreso para mag-conduct ng investigation in aid of legislation. Kung napapanood nyo lagi, may mga pinatatawag, may mga pinapasabi ng mga tao dahil kailangan silang tumestigo. Ito po ay kapangyarihan ng Senado in aid of legislation to conduct investigation so that it can help them to craft a better policy. So ito po yung mga kapangyarihan ng legislatura. At bago ko makalimutan, nung nakaraang linggo, kung hindi man nakaraang linggo ay nung nakaraang buwan, nagkaroon ng landmark decision ang Supreme Court kung saan ang mga senador, ang mga kongresista ay ay pinagtibay ng Korte Suprema ang concurrence ng mga senador at ang mga kongresista kung saan kahit kailangan munang magkaroon ng pagsang-ayon ang mga senador at kongresista bago pumasok sa isang tratado o treaty ang ating presidente. So, ito po ang these are the powers of the legislative department. I hope it was clear. So let's talk about, of course, the office of the president or the executive branch. So the executive branch, katulad ng sabi ko kanina, includes such offices but not limited to the following. Office of the President. Actually, Office of the President is the most powerful office in the executive department. The President actually is the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and the Head of State and Head of Government. At siya din yung Chief Architect ng Philippine Foreign Policy. On the other hand, the Office of the Vice President serves as the president in case of disability. Kung mamatay ang presidente, kung mag-resign ang presidente, o kung magkaroon ng malubhang sakit ang presidente, ang trabaho ng vice-presidente ay to secure ang presidential line of succession. So, ano pa ba yung pwedeng gawin ng vice president? Kung gustuhin man ng presidente na i-appoint siya sa isang cabinet position, hindi na niya kailangan ng legislative confirmation dahil siya ang vice presidente at siya ay elected official katulad nila. At the same time, we also have the cabinet. They serve actually as the alter ego and the advisor of the president in their respective departments. And of course, kailangan silang i-confirm ng Kongreso. So, katulad ngayon, yung ating mga secretary ay kinonfirm sila ng Kongreso. So, ayun po. So, let's talk about the powers of the executive department. In accordance to the 1987 Constitution, Article 7, Section 1, executive power yung binigay sa ating executive department, which is defined as the power to administer laws. Ibig sabihin, magpatupad ng batas ng naaayon sa rule of law. Ibig sabihin, dapat patas po ang pagpapatupad ng batas. So, sino nga ba nagpapatupad ng batas? Ang Armed Forces of the Philippines at syempre, ang PNP or Philippine National Police. So, ito po ay nasa under sa Department of National Defense and the Department of Local Government, so DALG. So, pasok na pasok sila sa presidential prerogative. Ibig sabihin, under sila ng Executive Department. So, ito po. Next. Let's talk about, of course, the Judicial Department. Ito yung panghuli at ito yung guardian ng ating Constitution. The judicial branch actually is composed of the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the land. The lower courts, for example, the RTC, the MTC, at the same time, the Sindigan Bayan, at syempre, yung Sharia courts. Unlike the executive, the judicial branch of government enjoys fiscal autonomy. Ibig sabihin, hindi na kailangan ng budget deliberation ang judicial branch. Ang kailangan lang nila ay mag-transmit ng kanilang budget at basta-basta na lang ito i-approve ng legislative because in accordance to the Constitution, again, they enjoy fiscal autonomy. So, let's just talk about the Supreme Court because the Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. At the same time, it is the guardian of the Constitution. So, the Supreme Court is actually composed of 14 associate justices and one chief justice. So, itong lahat ng justice nito, the CJ and the associate justice are actually appointed by the President of the Philippines in recommendation that was provided by the Judicial and Bar Council. So, ang presidente ang mamimili kung sinong mauupo ng mga maestrado at punong maestrado sa hudikatura. Ngayon, ano naman yung kapangyarihan ng hudikatura? Actually, merong marami, pero itong tatlo yung mga pinakamahalaga. The power on what we call the judicial review. Judicial review determines the constitutionality of laws passed by Congress and other acts by government departments. So halimbawa nito, pinaka-landmark nitong judicial review ngayon ay yung mainit na anti-terror law kung saan according sa mga petitioners, 37 petitioners, hinihiling nila sa Supreme Court na ideklara itong unconstitutional. At tatandaan po natin, ang Supreme Court lang ang may kakayahang magdeklara ng unconstitutionality ng isang batas. So, kapag kapag ginamit ng Korte Suprema ang kapangyarihan nitong judicial review, most likely mawawala ng bisa yung implementation ng batas na hiniling na ideklarang unconstitutional. So kung sakaling maging null and void o maging unconstitutional si anti-terror law, ang may kapangyarihan lang syempre ay si Supreme Court. At the same time, Supreme Court also has what we call the adjudicatory powers. They settle controversies and determine the grave abuse of discretion of any government branch. So just like what I've said a while ago, the judiciary is the guardian of the Constitution. So the Supreme Court and other courts will determine kung nilabag ba ng isang opisyal yung isang batas at kung tama ba yung ginawa niya. So most of the time nandito tayo sa Sandigan Bayan or sa Ombudsman. That is Sandigan Bayan is part of the judiciary. And then, of course, we also have what we call the incidental power. Ito yung pinaka-common na nakikita natin sa TV kasi kapag may kaso, magpa-file, magkakaroon ng hearing. This power was given to the Supreme Court at the same time to the judiciary, the power to punish or free persons in any court of law. So, yung mga judge natin ay may kapangyarihan na ikaw ay palayain o ipakulong ng naaayon sa batas. So ito po yung mga kapangyarihan ng hudikatura or ng judiciary. So let's talk about the separation of power. Kasi as we all know, there are three branches of government and they all have equal power. Ngayon, bakit may magtatanong siguro, bakit ganun? Kung pare-pareho ng kapangyarihan ang mga departamentong ito, bakit pinakamakapangyarihan ng presidente? the president is very powerful because all the powers in the executive branch is concentrated to one person only. Ibig sabihin, nakakonsentrate lang siya sa presidente. On the other hand, katulad sa legislature at sa judikatura, meron tayong 250 congressman, meron pa tayong 24 senators. Hence, meron pa rin tayo sa judikatura na napakarami ring nag-share ng power. Katulad ng Supreme Court na may 14 associate justices at isang CJ at marami pang judges. So, yes, pantay-pantay lahat ng departamento ng kapangyarihan, ngunit mga kapangyarihan ng presidente dahil nasa isang tao lang yung executive power. So let's talk about the separation of power. Actually, under the principle of equal and coordinate powers, no government is allowed to enroach the process confided to others to avoid pure dictatorship or monopoly of power of a particular or of any department. Actually, hindi pwedeng makialam ang legislature at ang executive kung sakaling mag-declare ng unconstitutional na batas sa Supreme Court. Hindi rin pwedeng manghimasok si Supreme Court sa mga batas na ginagawa ng Congress at ng Senate. So ayan. At the same time, hindi rin pwedeng manghimasok si Senate at si Congress sa mga implementation processes ng executive o ng presidente. So this is what we call separation of power. Bakit siya ginawa? Kasi nagkaroon na tayo ng diktadura dati at the separation of power was designed to make sure that no other person can become a dictator or a tyrant. So dito tayo sa principles of checks and balances. So ano ba ito? Dahil nga pantay-pantay sila, dinesign itong checks and balances para mas maging coordinative at the same time ma-check yung bawat department. May mga pangyarihan ng presidente na kayang i-check itong dalawang department ng itong Congress at itong judiciary. For example, the president can veto bill by Congress. For example, gumawa ng batas si Kongreso, pwedeng i-veto o pwedeng hindi pirmahan ng presidente yung batas o pwedeng tanggalin niya yung ibang provision dito sa batas na ito. Ano pa ba yung karagdagang kapangyarihan? Pardon and modify judgments of courts. Pwede siyang magpalaya ng mga nakakulong. And then ano pa ba? Pwede rin siyang magdeklara ng martial law sa isang limited amount ng time. So ano ba yung kapangyarihan o power checks by Congress? So it can override the veto of the president. So kung magkakaroon ng supermajority ang Kongreso at ang Senado, pwede nilang hindi na kailanganin ang pirma ng presidente para maipasa ang isang batas. And then, next, of course, is reject certain appointments by the president. So, pwede ring i-reject o pwede ring hindi mapaupo sa isang cabinet position o sa isang military position yung mga appointment ng presidente kung gugustuhin ng Kongreso. At the same time, it can also revoke martial law and suspension of the writ of habeas corpus. Ibig sabihin, kung magdeklara man ng presidente, kailangan mag-report siya sa status ng martial law at kaya din niya i-cancel yung writ of habeas corpus. Ibig sabihin, kailangan may due process tayo. And then, pwede rin siyang mag-revoke ng desisyon ng korte. Paano? Halimbawa, meron yung desisyon ng korte ay base pa sa lumang batas. Kung magkakaroon ng bagong batas na masusupersede itong lumang batas na ito, mawawalan na ng bisa yung previous judgment ng korte. And then, of course, it has the power to impeach officials as defined by the Constitution. Katulad ng nasabi ko kanina, ang Kongreso ay pwedeng mag-impeach ng 14 na associate justice at ng Chief Justice. Pwede rin niyang i-impeach ang Presidente at ang Vice President at ang mga members ng Constitutional Commission. So, of course, ito, katatapos lang natin ito, yung kapangyarihan, yung power checks ng judicial branch ay yung pagde-declare ng unconstitutionality ng kahit anong gawain ng legislature at ng executive. So, ito yung checks and balances. And by the way, nakalimutan ko, sa checks ng Congress, hindi rin pwedeng sa responsibilities ng Congress, yung mga senador talaga ay gagawa ng batas. Hindi dapat sila makitang nagpapa-picture-picture kasama yung kung sino-sinong tao. So dapat talaga gumawa lang sila ng batas. And hindi dapat sila makita, hindi dapat sila ma-attach sa kahit anong miyembro ng hudikatura o ng executive. Hindi dapat may first, hindi ka dapat parang first lady. So moving on, we'll be talking about the constitutional commissions. Actually, itong constitutional commissions ay labas. Okay? Labas sila sa tatlong department na binuo. Dahil in accordance to Article 9, Section 1 of the 1987 Constitution, mahalaga yung kanilang mga gawain. At ano ba itong tatlong ito? Ano ba yung tatlong constitutional commissions na ito? We have the Civil Service Commission, the Commission on Elections, and what we call the Commission on Audit. So ano ba yung gawain nila? So, ito na nga. Ano ba yung gawain nila? So, the Civil Service Commission, actually, in accordance to the 1987 Constitution, should administer what we call the Civil Service Exam. And ano ba yung Civil Service Exam? Ito yung nagde-decide kung ikaw ay makakapagtrabaho ng regular sa gobyerno o hindi. So, bakit kailangan ng Civil Service Commission? Para ma-avoid natin yung tinatawag na nepotism. Nepotism ay yung pag-appoint ng mga kamag-anak o ng KKK, kaibigan, kamag-anak at kasama sa kabarilan. Hindi kailangan ma-avoid yung nepotism at kaya ginawa sa Civil Service Commission. So ano naman tong si COMELEC o si Commission on Elections? Actually si COMELEC ay napakahalaga ng tungkulin sa ating bansa. Kasi sila ang nagpapatupad ng batas tungkol sa eleksyon. Sila ang nagde-decide ng election contest kung may nilabag ba si gantong kandidato. Matatandaan natin yan, marami nang na-cancel na, marami nang napatalsik ng mga opisyal dahil nag-violate sila ng election laws. At the same time, sila din yung nagsumasagot ng mga tanong ng bawat Pilipino kung may katanungan. And then, syempre, sila yung namamahala sa national at local elections. So, napakahalaga ng trabaho ng Commission on Elections. Hence, moving on tayo sa pangatlo, the Commission on Audit, it's actually established to be an independent body too, so that ma-monitor natin kung paano ginagastos at paano gagastusin yung ating pera. Kasi hindi naman to pera ng mga politiko, pera to ng sambayan ng Pilipino. So ito po yung tatlong independent constitutional commissions. Now, just to be clear, bakit siguro marami nagtatanong dito, wala dito yung Commission on Human Rights. Actually, in accordance to the Constitution, hindi siya constitutional commission dahil isa siyang independent commission na magmo-monitor ng mga violations ng police at ng mga militar. So again, hindi po isang constitutional commission si CHR, isa siyang independent commission. So next po tayo. So let's talk about governance. So actually magkasunod na to eh. So we'll be talking about the composition of the Philippine government. So we'll be talking to at the same time what is governance? Kasi mahalaga to. So let's talk about what is governance. Actually, governance is practically the process of decision making and decision implementation. Hindi maaring maging efficient to, maaring hindi siya maging efficient. At the same time, pwede siyang, according to Francis Fukuyama, pwede siyang maging relasyon ng gobyerno sa merkado para ma-monitor yung presyo ng bilihin at ang ekonomiya ng gobyerno at ng private sector para malaman kung napapatupad yung batas ng tama sa private sector. At syempre, gobyerno and citizens para malaman natin kung sumusunod ba ang mga citizens natin sa pinapatupad ng gobyerno. And the same time, last, of course, but not the least, the relationship between the national government and local governments. So ano po ba ito? The national government is practically the one who crafts the law, and then yung mga local government natin sila yung nagpapatubad. So nandun mismo sila sa kanilang mga localities. So ito po this is what we call governance. So ano yung good governance? Good governance is actually an administrative approach that is founded on peace, justice, human rights, and the efficient management of resources. So actually may dalawang elemento o may dalawang dimensyon si good governance. This is what we call state capacity and then the bureaucratic autonomy. So what is state capacity? According to Francis Fukuyama, 2013, state capacity is the capability of a particular government or particular country to implement laws, pagpapatupad ng batas. The more na mas malaki yung state capacity mo, the more na mas stable at the more na mayroong good governance dyan sa bansa. At the same time, we have what we call bureaucratic autonomy. So ano ba yung bureaucratic autonomy? So bureaucratic autonomy is the process kung saan madali bang makipag-deal sa gobyerno? May backlog ba o may red tape ba sa gobyerno? So ito. So kung mas autonomous yung bureaucracy mo, ibig sabihin mas efficient yung governance mo. So, ano ba yung pinagkaiba ng good governance at ng governance? Technically, governance is simply the act of decision making. Paggawa ng desisyon, paggawa ng pag-implementa dito, pero may posibilidad siya na hindi siya efficient. Hence, meron naman tayong good governance, which is, of course, kaya nga tinawag siyang good governance kasi efficient siya, consultative siya, at saka may dalawa siyang dimension. So, ayan. So let's talk about the elements of good governance. So the first element according to the United Nations is what we call participation. So ano ba itong si participation? It involves all the stakeholders in the process of governance. Paggawa ng proseso sa kailangan pag gumawa ng desisyon si gobyerno, kailangan inform o kasama o ikinonsidera yung tinatawag na mga stakeholders kasi sila yung maapektuhan nito. So, tanungin niyo sarili niyo, yung bang gobyerno niyo sa lokal at sa national ay tinanong kayo kung ano yung mas nadadapat. And then transparency. When it comes to transparency, actually, from the word itself, transparency, information is free and accessible to all. Tanungin niyo yung sarili niyo, transparent ba yung gobyerno ninyo? Transparent ba si mayor? Transparent ba si governor? Transparent ba si presidente? Kung transparent and they good, ibig sabihin, may good governance. And then, rule of law. This is what we call the impartial implementation of laws of the land. So, kung ang batas ay patas, maayos ang palakad. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Halimbawa, nagkaroon ng violation si Juan, huhulihin siya. At kung nagkaroon ng violation si Pedro at anak si Pedro ni Mayor, dapat hulihin din siya. That is what we call rule of law. Hindi yung nag-party si ganito dahil birthday niya, nagmanyanita, ipopromote siya bilang head ng isang implementing body. O halimbawa, may COVID si ganito, pumunta siya sa ospital kasi ipapanganak yung asawa niya. Or halimbawa, dahil undersecretary siya at dahil siya ay sexy, siya ay undersecretary, pumunta siya sa Batangas dahil siya ay o dahil siya ay kailangan doon. O kaya yung isa diyan na pumunta sa Subic yata at nakipaglaro sa Dolphin. So dapat hence meron pa dahil ba sila ay nasa mataas na katungkulan ay dapat ba silang hulihin kung sila ay So tanongin niyo po yung sarili niyo kung meron nga bang rule of law o matibay ba yung rule of law dito sa ating bayan. Dito matibay ba yung rule of law dito sa city niyo, sa bansa niyo. So ayan. And then of course responsiveness. The capacity of all government institutions to serve the citizens at a very reasonable time frame. Ibig sabihin, ito yung kapasidad ng gobyerno na rumisponde pag natulungan yung mga kababayan natin sa napakabilis na paraan. Kung mabilis sila, syempre responsive. Kung hindi, edi medyo babagal. Tanungin niyo yung sarili niyo kung maganda ba yung policy ni mayor, ni governor. So ayan. So next, of course, is consensus-oriented, the ability of the system to reach a broad general consensus amongst its citizens. So itong consensus-oriented, dapat may pagkakasundo. Kailangan yung mga mamamayan tinatanong and then yung gobyerno agree sa pinagkasunduan. So this is what we call consensus-oriented. Next is equity and inclusivity. This ensures that most vulnerable sectors of society enjoys the rights and privileges enjoyed by the mainstream population. For example, yung ating mga minority, yung ating mga ating mga kababayan na nakatira sa bundok, sila ba ay may access sa medical service? Sila ba ay hindi na-discriminate dahil sila ay nakatira sa bundok? Kung sila ay na-discriminate, tanungin niyo sarili niyo, good governance ba yun? And then next, of course, is effectiveness and efficiency. This is the use of the state's limited resources at the most systematic and sustainable manner possible. Kasi tatandaan natin, ito ay according na rin sa economics, limited ang resources, lahat ng resources. Ang unlimited lang ay yung needs at wants ng mga tao. So, kailangan ang gawin ng gobyerno ay gawing efficient yung gobyerno. So, efficient ba? Effective ba yung pinapatupad ng gobyerno? Kung hindi, edi walang good governance. And then accountability. Actually, an organization must be held accountable to the people that will be affected by their decisions. So, dapat, kung napansin nyo recently sa Slovakia, yung prime minister nag-resign dahil hindi daw maganda yung pag-handle niya. Or sa Japan, mayroon si dating Prime Minister Abe, nag-resign siya dahil may sakit siya. So that is what we call accountability, because he knows that his health will affect the decisions when it comes to crafting policies that will affect not only himself but also the whole country. So ito po yung elements of good governance. Tanungin po natin yung sarili natin kung meron ba tayo. Kung meron, napakaganda. Kung wala, and then I guess kailangan na nating isipin kung sinong iboboto natin sa 2022. So, ito, pag-usapan natin to, good governance and the state of human rights during the pandemic. So, ano ba to? Actually, what is human rights? Actually, I'm sorry for the PowerPoint presentation, but human rights is actually the norms that protect an individual from political, legal, and social abuses. According to Article 3 of the 1987 Constitution, or the Bill of Rights, pinoprotektahan ito lahat ng karapatan ng mga Pilipino. Kasama na rito yung right to due process. So, ano ba yun? So, ayan. So, bakit mahalaga yung good governance ngayong pandemya? Kasi una sa lahat tayo ay apektado. Ang bawat desisyon ng gobyerno ay makaka-apekto sa atin. Halimbawa, nagkaroon ng lockdown. Hindi lang mayaman, hindi lang mahirap ang naapektuhan. Mga negosyo naapektuhan. At the same time, again, like what I've said a while ago, limitado yung resources ng gobyerno. So, kailangan talagang gamitin ng matalino. And then, of course, we also have, because good governance values the rule of law and human rights. Tandaan natin na kailangan sa pagpapatupad ng batas, may tinatawag tayong rule of law. Patas dapat. Hulihin si Juan kapag nagkasala, hulihin din si Pedro kahit anak siya ni Mayor. So, and then human rights, syempre dapat nakabasa sa batas. So, eto, let's talk about yung mga nangyari sa ibang bansa. Kasi marami tayong pwedeng matutunan sa iba't ibang bansa when it comes to good governance. Kasi sila ay nagpatupad nito. For example, mga similarities ng mga bansang Taiwan, Korea, and New Zealand they are transparent. They conducted mass testing. And then meron silang research-oriented leaders. Tayo ba? Meron tayo. Si governor ba? Si secretary ba ay research-oriented? And then Vietnam and Thailand, on the other hand, kahit sila ay mahirap, ginawa nila tong lahat. So, ito yung kailangan nating alamin. So, ayan, that ends my presentation. Pero before I stop sharing, I stop presenting, ito lang po yung sasabihin ko. Mahalaga ang election na to. Mahalaga yung 2022 elections dahil nakasalalay dito yung future natin. Kasi ngayon, pandemic, maraming mga pangyayari na dapat nating isaalang-alang. We have to consider things. So, 2022 is a very important election for the future of the country. We must vote in accordance to our values. We must vote in accordance to what we want as a nation. So again, I'm ending my presentation. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you so much for that very informative and clear discussion on the structure of the Philippine government. Na-amaze ako no, na the way Mr. Johnny Rosales actually discussed the structure of the Philippine government and some few things regarding our bureaucracy. Napaka friendly, not necessarily friendly but very down to earth yung very grounded yung approach. It appeared to me na parang crash course on political science. So thank you so much, Mr. Rosales, for giving us your time and for going in depth in terms of the Philippine governance, bureaucracy of the Philippines. Yung key takeaway ko lang talaga doon is yung checks and balances, na how the executive works with respect to its co-equal branch of the government, which is the legislative and judiciary, their extent of powers, and also I love how Mr. Jen Rosales, our second speaker, highlighted na we shouldn't just look at the national level. As much as we look at the national government, the national level, we also have to look at our local level, since our local government is as important as the national government. Kasi nga, we are more affected with our local government since we are residing in the territorial jurisdiction of our LGU. Also, on the good governance aspect, Mr. Jen Rosales mentioned participation, consultative government, transparency, rule of law, and responsiveness. The last part, yung sa responsiveness, it really struck me, no? Kasi, yun nga, in the advent of COVID, dito natitest yung pagiging responsive natin as a community, hindi lang sa government, but also on our responsibility as individuals na to help our fellow Filipino, to acknowledge our greater capacity to help each other in these trying times. Thank you so much, Mr. Johnny Rosales. And before we proceed, could we have an energy check muna? Energy check. Let's see if you're still okay. This is 100%, 90 to 100%. And then this one is around 50, 40, 60% energy. And ito mga 20, 10. Let's have it. Could you turn on your cameras para makita natin yung energy nyo regarding our talks this afternoon. So, ako, I'm 100% good. How about the others? Let's see. Okay, so we have here around 50, 60. We have 100. Okay, we have 100. Majority of what I'm seeing is 100%. 90, 80. Yeah, thank you so much. And we really ensured to make this webinar as friendly as possible, as informative as possible. Kasi nga, we acknowledge, we recognize na yung audience naman natin, majority of it are youth, no, mga kabataan na tulad natin. And we just want to make this more exciting and more friendly. So ayun, first is, before we proceed with our forum, just wanna plug a challenge that Mr. Armando inspired us to actually move forward. Ito yung challenge ni Sir Armando. This was presented on his last slide. It was challenge accepted. 18 years old ka na ba o mag-18 na sa araw ng eleksyon? Kung hindi ka pa rehistrado, magparehistro ka na. Humikayat ng 3 kaibigan na magparehistro, bumoto ng tama sa araw ng eleksyon. So, ganun. So, if you're 18 by 2022 or will be celebrating your 18th birthday before the elections or on the day of the elections, invite at least 3 of your friends to register, especially kung di ka pa registered. Or even if registered ka na, invite your friends na di pa registered and help them to register. Do assisted voters registration in your own capacity and tap your local community leaders to help you with your own initiative. Ganon. Again, don't forget to share our live stream on Facebook. And if you have questions, you could drop your questions on our comment section on Facebook. And you could also send that on our chat system here in Zoom. Or you could tweet that using our official hashtags, which is hashtag di ka pa registered because, hashtag Boto ng Kabataan, hashtag Barkahan ang Kinabukasan. So don't forget to follow our official Facebook, Twitter, and our Instagram pages accounts, which is at Boto ng Kabataan. We also have a YouTube channel. Doon namin i-stream for the first time ang aming official soundtrack. So sana aabangan nyo bukas yung official soundtrack ng Boto ng Kabataan. More details will be provided, will be posted on the coming days, on the coming hours probably, baka mamaya or bukas. So we hope that everyone would stream the Boto ng Kabataan soundtrack and share it to their friends. So the soundtrack will be streamed on YouTube, on Apple Music, and Spotify. So please subscribe, follow, and share the official soundtrack ng Boto ng Kabataan. And again, just a reminder, if you have questions on Twitter, please make your account public para mabasa namin kasi yung mga private accounts, di namin nababasa. So please make sure that your accounts are in public. And if you want to help Boto ng Kabataan, again, our table is still open for volunteers and partners. Just go to linktr.ee/Boto ng Kabataan. We have the online form there, kind of fill it out, and our team will immediately reach out to our potential partners and our prospect volunteers. So again, it's linktr.ee/Boto ng Kabataan. So let's proceed to our forum. Are you guys excited for the forum? This is the time that we could actually be engaged with our. I know you have questions. It's time for us to be engaged with our speakers. So before we proceed with our forum, before I give the floor to our virtual participants in Zoom, our team at BNK prepared at least 2 questions, at least 1 to 2 questions per speaker. So I'm gonna ask first muna si Sir Armando. Kasi si Sir Armando nakakahawa yung energy. Parang gusto mong sumayaw. Sir Armando, gusto tayo mag-TikTok eh. Yung energy na parang gusto ko i-TikTok. Anyway, Sir Armando, yung first question po ng BNK national team at yung prospect on the ground team natin is that pwede po ba tayong mag-install ng satellite COMELEC registration areas or offices, especially po sa mga communities na maraming youth and di pa registered, or kahit di man youth, maraming community members ay di pa registered at the same time, yung community nila malayo po sa COMELEC office. Kasi nga, sabi niyo sir na kailangan na personal appearance para makuha yung signature, yung biometrics. So paano po yung mga communities in far-flung areas or in communities na hindi masyadong accessible yung mga daanan? So pwede po bang mag-install ng satellite COMELEC registration office? At kung pwede naman po, ano po yung parang basic requirements na kailangan i-meet ng, say for example, ng Boto ng Kabataan or ng barangay or ng community?
Actually, yung mga barangay officials, ini-encourage namin sila na magkaroon ng satellite registration. Ang kaso, kapag maraming COVID positive, hindi pwede. So pwede lang yan sa mga walang mga positive na COVID. So pwede silang mag-request o yung COMELEC mismo pupunta sa mga zero cases. So yun po yung pero dito sa I think sa NCR sa mga na ECQ negative tayo eh. Negative tayo na magpunta sa mga barangay because of the positive cases ng na mga COVID.
So Sir Armando, ano po yung pwedeng way natin na to make our registration more accessible? Kasi nga marami pong offices na nagli-limit lang ng ilang registrants yung pinapapasok sa office. Tapos kung yung ibang office din, as you said sir, nagre-require ng ball pens, they require the registrants to print out their own registration form. Paano po yung walang ganong resources? Walang ball pen, walang printer to print out their forms, walang internet to access the forms. Paano po yun? And walang internet to actually set an appointment.
Yeah.
Yes,
actually, kayong mga boto ng kabataan na yung mga volunteers, pwede naman yang pwede naman yang i-download kung nangyari magpareso kayo, yung mga walang pera talaga para matulungan natin. So yun yung pinakaano natin na ang naman kasi ang forms naman kasi, libre naman yan eh. Hanggat wala pa siyang serial number, okay yon. So, pwedeng, kung kayo may mga volunteers, pwede kayo magpareso, ibigay nyo ng ibigay, pero kailangan pa rin namin yung yung mga valid ID. One valid ID is enough. Kailangan with present address kung saan sila nakatira. So yun yung mabilis na kasi kung mayroon kang form, wala ka namang valid ID, hindi ka naman tatanggapin. So kailangan pa rin na matulungan natin yung mga kabataan na magpresenta sila ng mga ng mga valid ID with present address. So yun yung pinakamaganda na i-encourage natin sila na magparehistro kayo para may boto yung mga karapat dapat na maluklok sa darating na mga elections. Hindi lang this 22, marami pang mga na bobotohan natin. Like sa barangay election, di ba? Meron tayo sa December. O, yun yung kailangan natin i-inform yung mga kabataan natin na magparehistro. Kasi nga, yung mga barangay official, mga tamad, kailangan palitan na. Ayan. So yun yung when or magkakaroon po ba talaga ng voters ID tulad ng postal ID?
Yan po, question po yan ng participants natin.
Okay. So for your information guys, hindi na po tayo magkakaroon ng voters ID.
Voters ID.
Antayin nyo na lang yung national ID galing sa Philippine Statistics Authority. Ayan. Yun na lang ang antayin nyo. Wala na po. Wala ng voters ID. Pwede naman kayo makaboto kapag
ang energy mo, sir.
O, di ba? Yan. So, yun po, yun yung natin na matulungan natin yung mga kabataan natin. Kasi, minsan yung mga, katulad dito sa Pateros, sinasamahan pa ng magulang, pinipilit pa sila. Paano po malalaman if registered na talaga? Kasi yung iba po sa amin, years ago na nag-apply pero wala pa ding update. For your information, makikita mo na na registered ka na kapag ang pangalan mo nandun na sa listahan. Pagdating ng election, makikita mo yung pangalan mo nandun, ibig sabihin approve ka na. At sa ngayong pandemic, mahirap kasi So katulad ko sa Comelec Pateros, kapag sila nag-PM sa akin, nag-messenger sa akin, kung approve na, ko naman, sinasagot ko naman yan po ako. Ibang-iba ko sa iba. Ganyan po, yan po yung Paano po ba makipag-partner yung org po sa Comelec? Okay, paano makipag-partner? As I've said kay sa group namin nila Gerard, kailangan makipag-usap kayo dun sa muna sa main office kay Director James Jimenez. Para kahit papaano talagang kayo kay kunya kapag kayo diyan sa main office, ibabato na yan sa mga local offices ng Comelec nationwide. Paano po mag-set ng appointment after? Mag-fill up ng form. Doon mismo sa i-rehisto, www.comelec.gov.irehistro, nyo, nandun po yung procedure kung paano, ha? When or magkaroon po ba talaga ng voters ID? Ay, tapos na pala.
Yes po. Anyway, Sir Armando, thank you so much. Ang daming mas na-clarify po yung mga actions na kailangan namin tahakin in order for us to register or to help other people register.
Pwede pa tayo
one of the things that I want to highlight po, yes po. Yes po.
Kailangan pa natin magkaroon ng voters education kasi ito voters registration lang. So, paano natin tuturuan yung mga, di ba registered na sila? Paano natin sila tuturuan kung paano sila bumoto? Paano sila pipili ng tamang mga kandidato? So, mayroon pa tayong second Zoom para
yes,
doon
sir.
na...
Actually, may pinaplano po yung Boto ng Kabataan na voters ed movement, voters ed initiative po, pero we're still trying to iron out po yung module and yung
Okay.
lecture namin. But most of our energy right now, sir, ay nakafocus sa pagpaparehistro kasi nga parang it's a race against time. It's September 30 na yung deadline, yung last day of registration. Tapos ang dami pang youth na di pa naka-register. So it's a race against time. So most of our energy, sir, nandun napupunta sa voters reg. But rest assured na if ever may voters ed kami, ikaw po yung pinakauna itatap namin alongside with other resource persons.
May isa pa. So, hintayin po ba sa mismong election para malaman na registered ka? Walang ways na iba tulad ng email or call? Pwede naman. Pwede naman kayo mag-email sa kanila. Kaya nga mayroon sila mga Comelec FB page. Doon nyo itanong. Katulad ko dito sa Comelec Pateros, tumawag ka lang sa landline, pwede na. Pwede ka rin sagutin sa messenger. So, wala pong masasagot po kayo ng mga taga-Comelec.
Okay po. Thank you so much, sir. I guess that ends our question Q&A portion for your answer kasi nga we have very limited time and I know yung iba po marami pang questions but na-plug naman ni sir kanina yung Facebook niya. It's Sir Armando Mallorca yung Facebook niya, sir, no? Tama ba?
Armando Madraso Mallorca.
Ayun po, Armando Madraso Mallorca. So for additional questions, pwede niyo pong i-reach out si Sir Don or you can follow Sir Armando's Twitter. It's TikTok rather. It's TikTok and
Super happy man.
Super happy. Halata po. Super happy man. Nakakahawap yung energy niyo. Parang gusto kong sumaya ng TikTok. Anyway, maraming salamat po, Sir Armando, and we are so happy and privileged to have you here with us kasi
thank you.
Parang mas na-clarify po yung mga tanong namin, lalong-lalo na po yung mga sagot nang galing po sa isang election officer.
Yes.
Maraming salamat po. And now, let's proceed. Thank you so much, sir. And now, let's proceed to our second speaker, Mr. Johnny Rosales. To our participants in Zoom, and in Facebook, I know you have questions, but it's already 6, so we're gonna cut some questions. And if you have more questions, we're gonna tally that one and then send it out to our speakers para mas ma-clarify nila. And we'll get in touch with those who have questions. If that sounds good, we will proceed with our second speaker, Mr. Johnny Rosales. Hello, Johnny.
Hello.
Yes. Si Johnny po yung ating director for partnerships for the Boto ng Kabataan movement. So ayan po, Sir Johnny Rosales, one question po from the BNK team is that aside from voting and being involved in politics such as yung mga SK, paano po ba nabibigyan ng boses yung kabataan in terms of the political table, yung sa agenda ng local government, ng barangay local government, ng city, municipal, and ng provincial level, and even the national level? What do you think are the ways para mas mabigyan po ng space ng seat at the table na yung mga kabataan, well, aside from voting and being involved in the SK?
Thank you for that really wonderful question. Kung sino man nagtanong doon. Actually, according to the local government code ng Pilipinas, meron tayong tinatawag na barangay assembly that happens annually. So, kung hindi kayo satisfied na bumoto lang kayo, na nagreklamo lang kayo, pwede niyo i-discussion sa inyong kapitan kasi lahat ng tao, in accordance again to the local government code, ay pwedeng dumalo sa tinatawag nating barangay assembly at i-voice out kung ano yung mga concern natin. At the same time, kaya nga tayo may tinatawag na House of Representatives dahil nire-representa nila tayo sa legislature. So what happens is pwede kang sumulat sa iyong congressman if you happen to disapprove of his stand on a particular bill. So pwede yun. So that's my answer, I guess.
Okay, thank you so much. I actually have a personal experience writing to local leaders. It's part of their training and a program that I attended, parang writing letters to leaders. Napaka-effective niya na approach kasi nga you're directly engaged with your local leaders formally through a letter. Ganon. Sir Johnny, another question po is that how do we make a good governance more achievable? Kasi nga, most of the time, yung politics po, whether we like it or not, somehow it's shrouded with parang utang na loob na
Yes.
how can the youth help in breaking that cycle?
Let me quote Lord Varys from Game of Thrones. Okay, I will. Sabi niya, he will speak out against incompetence. So tayo, just again to quote Justice Leonen, your silence against incompetence makes you an accomplice to such evil. So, dapat magsalita tayo. Kung may nakikita tayong mali, magsalita tayo dahil ito ay nakalagay sa ating Constitution, sa ating Bill of Rights. So, kung meron tayong napuna na mali, bakit hindi natin siya punahin dahil ito naman ay nasa ating Constitution? Huwag tayo takot. Again, kapag tahimik tayo, sabi nga sa kasabihan, hindi masira ang mundo dahil sa mga masasamang tao, masira ang mundo dahil sa tao tahimik at hindi nakikipaglaban sa kasamaan. So, ayun lang.
Thank you so much. Napaka-insightful yung quotes na sinabi ni Sir Johnny na basically, the problem is not about people who are not doing anything but people who are just silent, people na nagtotolerate ng incompetence, ng corruption, and the same things, no? And this does not apply lang siguro on government, no? It also applies on your own circle, sa organization nyo. This thing actually transcends from just being an isolated issue within the government. It also reflects then in some cases with organizations, with NGOs, and similar stuff, no? Sir Johnny, we have a question from our chat system. It's from Mr. Ilustrados Wilson.
Yes.
About also division of powers, how come PRRD or our president can freely choose department heads outside the executive branch?
Okay, yan ay tinatawag nating nasa checks and balances yan. In accordance to the 1987 Constitution, the president has the power to appoint commissioners of the three constitutional commissions, which is the Commission on Elections, Commission on Audit, and the Civil Service Commission. At the same time, nasa Constitution din na mag-a-appoint siya ng mga justices sa Supreme Court at ng Chief Justice. Pero para siya mag-appoint ng Justice at ng Chief Justice sa Supreme Court, ay kailangan meron itong tinatawag na approval o yung mamimili siya sa listahan na binigay ng Judicial and Board Council na composed ng mga legal luminaries at mga miyembro ng legislature from Senate and Congress. At the same time, of course, members ng Supreme Court. So, nasa kapangyarihan niya yun. Nasa kapangyarihan niya yun in accordance to ating Constitution.
Oh, okay. So, doon pala papasok yung, for example, if the president would appoint someone from outside, like generally outside from the government bubble, tapos mag-a-appoint siya directly into a high seat in government, doon papasok yung commission on appointments, tapos JBC for the judiciary. So doon natin nakikita yung parang checks and balances in the government.
Yes.
Doon din nare-reject yung mga appointments, doon na-approve, and somehow it gives us a ray of hope na people who gets appointed are somehow checked din, no, ng commission on appointments and of course ng JBC. So ayun po. Do we have any more questions from our participants? If you have questions, kindly go to Slido or you could directly send your questions at our chat system in Zoom. But before anything else, before we proceed with another question, again, don't forget to share our Facebook stream right now for this virtual voters registration campaign. And also don't forget to like and follow our Facebook account and of course, follow our Twitter and Instagram accounts for more updates. I guess we don't have any more questions from our participants. I know baka may I think some participants have questions pero parang nahihiya sila. Sige lang, if you have questions, you could personally reach out Sir Johnny. You could reach out Boto ng Kabataan since Sir Johnny is our director for partnership, and then we could relate the questions to Sir Johnny and we'll get back to you immediately with the answers from Sir Johnny. So, ayun, thank you so much, Sir Johnny, for that insightful and informative discussion regarding the Philippine government. Parang ano siya, it took me back to while I was studying political science in college. Parang refresher course siya. Maraming salamat. And now, before we'll have our photo opportunity, let's have our closing remark from the Chief Mobilizer of Boto na Kabataan, at the same time, the Chief Executive Officer of the Council of Young Leaders of the Philippines. We have our ever supportive the Chief Mobilizer, Mr. J. Scoliado.
Ayun, maraming salamat, Paige, no? So, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat kay Ginoong Armando Mallorca mula sa COMELEC, kay Ginoong Rosales na mula sa Boto ng Kabataan, at CYLPH, sa lahat ng organisasyong kasapi ng Boto ng Kabataan na walang sawang sumusuporta. Nakikita ko kayo, kasama kayo ngayon dito. Lahat ng bumubuo ng Boto ng Kabataan, ating mga directors, mga volunteers, mga taong walang takot sa commitment, no? So far. Lalo na sa lahat ng nakibahagi sa programang ito na piniling isang tabi ang kanilang mga personal na mga gawain para sa bayan. So maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Sana hindi ito yung huli nating pagsasama. Bagkus maging una sa maraming beses pa. Marami kaming inihanda upang lalong paigtingin ang ating kampanya para sa mas malawak na voter registration at education. Bukas, lalabas ang official track ng Boto ng Kabataan na sana maging official track din ng ating sama-samang pagkilos para sa makabuluhang 2022. Bukod dito ay napakarami nating inihahanda tulad ng help desks, registration drives, training, iba't iba pang mga webinars. So sa ilang buwan na tumatakbo ang Boto ng Kabataan, napatunayan ko na kaya natin basta sama-sama. Huwag maliitin ang kakayahan natin para hubugin ang bayan. Hindi ito magbabago agad-agad, pero unti-unti maaari itong mangyari. So anong maaari nating gawin? Lumahok sa mga activities na ganito, mag-volunteer, kausapin ninyo ang inyong mga local leaders, bumoto, at huwag niyong kakalimutan, pwede rin kayong tumakbo. Huwag kayong matakot tumakbo, maaaring sa SK, sa barangay, o sa higit na mataas na katungkulan. Lahat ito pwede nating gawin para sa mga nais nating mangyari. So muli, maraming salamat po sa lahat na nandito, sa Zoom, sa Facebook Live, and sana po muli natin kayong makasama sa mga susunod pa naming programa. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Mr. J. Scoliado. Again, just to highlight, this is not the end of our engagement. In fact, this is just the start. And the BNK is preparing a lot of stuff, a lot of projects na i-implement namin, not only on a national scale, but also on our communities, sa mga grassroots level na communities. Before we'll have our photo op, Sir Armando, Sir Johnny, any final thoughts? Let's start with Sir Armando.
Okay. Sa mga kabataan, tandaan nyo, ang sabi ni Jose Rizal, kabataan ay siyang pag-asa ng bayan. So guys, eto na ang pagkakataon. May challenge ako sa inyo. I-invite nyo yung mga kabataan para sila sa pagboto. Kapag hindi nakaboto, kapag hindi siya nakarehistro, hindi makaboto. Kaya guys, invite nyo sila magparehistro para makaboto. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Ako, I'm speechless talaga sa energy ni sir. Kasi yung energy niya from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. grabe. Parang hindi nababawasan. Thank you so much, Sir Armando. Sir Johnny Rosales, any final thoughts?
Okay, hello.
Yes.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Ito yung, I guess these are my last words for this webinar. 2022 elections is one of the most, if not the most important elections in our lives, because this will define our future as a country. This will define who will be in the coming generations. So sana iboto natin yung tama, iboto natin yung mga tapat, at iboto natin yung mga totoo. Remember this, incompetence should not be rewarded by blind loyalty. We have to speak up, and we have to make sure that we will elect the right people when it comes to election day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Johnny. Si Sir Johnny, may conviction, no? And it's one of the things that we really are fighting for in Boto natin ang ating kinabukasan through our youth vote. Although nasa Luzon man kayo, Visayas or Mindanao, we would come together for a collective cause, which is to be more active in the electoral process, in governance, and to have a seat at the table as youth. Kasi nga, we are not we are not the future of this nation, but we are the present. Kaya tara na, magsama-sama tayong markahan ang ating kinabukasan. And finally, before we have our photo op, we just want to thank Boto ng Kabataan. Just want to thank all our partner organizations, NGOs, line agencies, our advocates, our public figures who have supported us since day one, and to everyone unmentioned, not mentioned, who supported our movement and made this a webinar successful. Maraming salamat. And this is just the start. We will be engaging with you more in the coming days, in the coming weeks. So thank you so much, especially to our viewers on Facebook. Thank you for sparing your time and listening to our virtual voters registration campaign. Again, don't forget to like and follow our official Facebook page, follow our official Twitter and Instagram accounts, subscribe to our official YouTube channel since we will be streaming, launching our official soundtrack tomorrow. On YouTube, on Apple Music, on Spotify. So we hope na ito yung magiging anthem ng Boto ng. And again, if you want to partner, if you want to volunteer to be NK, link tr.ee/boto ng kabataan. Again, that's link tr.ee/boto ng kabataan. More details of the partnership form is provided on our official Facebook page. Again, maraming salamat, and may I request everyone to kindly turn on their cameras. Let's have our full by.
Hi, I'll be the one taking.
Go ahead, guys.
There's 4 pages, so hopefully you keep your smiles. I'll count naman per page. Sige, I'll give you time muna to open your cameras. Yay. Sige. Mga nasa page 3 and 4 habol. Yeah.
Ang dami natin na, and thank you for really going out of your way kahit Holy Week to attend the webinar. It really means a lot to BNK.
Okay, magsa-start na ako. Wala nang habol. Sige, wait lang. Bigyan na natin. May naghahabol pa sa dulo. There you go. Okay, so first page. Ready? Smile lang ah. For the first page, 3, 2, 1. Yay, okay. Magsa-second page tayo. Wait lang. Second page, keep smiling kasi baka iba order nyo. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Ayan, okay. Waki ba? Gusto niyo ba waki? 2 pages lang naman nag-open at cam. For the others, baka may gusto pang humabol. Ayan. Sige, isa pa. Page 1 ulit tayo. Waki daw. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, sa page 2, keep your wacky face is on. Wait lang. Sorry, yung tagal ng ano. Ready? 3, 2, 1, smile. Ayan. Thank you so much.